Men believe love is enough. They write poems, they send long messages, they sacrifice pride, and yet they are abandoned, replaced, forgotten. Why? Because love alone does not secure devotion. Tonight, I will reveal the 3 things women need more than love, the truths men ignore and then blame fate for their heartbreak. Listen carefully, for this is not romance, this is strategy. Men are taught from childhood that love is the ultimate currency. They are told that if they love deeply enough, purely enough, intensely enough, they will be rewarded with loyalty. So they give their emotions freely, they sacrifice their boundaries, they make promises in moments of passion. And yet, despite all this devotion, many still lose the very woman they tried so desperately to keep. Why? Because love excites the heart, but security governs the mind, and the mind always wins. A woman may fall in love during chaos. She may be swept away by passion, by spontaneity, by the thrill of emotional intensity. But when she thinks about her future, when she imagines stability, children, reputation, comfort, survival, she does not ask herself, who loved me the most? She asks, where am I safest? Understand what security truly means. It is not merely money. Money is only one expression of stability. A wealthy man who is emotionally unstable still creates anxiety. A charming man who loses control under pressure creates fear. A passionate man without direction creates uncertainty. Security is emotional steadiness. It is a calm presence in crisis. It is knowing that when the storm comes, you do not panic, you anchor. If your moods shift like the wind, she must constantly adjust to you. If your plans change every week, she cannot build a future beside you. If your ambitions are dreams without discipline, she senses risk. And risk, prolonged over time, erodes attraction. Women are biologically and psychologically wired to assess stability. This is not romance, this is survival instinct refined over centuries. In ancient times, instability meant danger, it meant hunger, it meant vulnerability. That instinct has not disappeared simply because the world has become modern. You may say, but she says she wants love. Yes, she does. But love without security feels like standing on beautiful ice, shimmering, romantic, breathtaking, and dangerously thin. At first, the thrill is intoxicating, but eventually, the fear of falling through becomes stronger than the excitement of standing there. This is why a man who remains composed during hardship becomes attractive without trying. When financial pressure rises, when conflict appears, when emotions run high, and he does not crumble, something shifts inside her. She relaxes. That relaxation is powerful, because tension exhausts attraction. If she must constantly worry about your emotional reactions, your jealousy, your insecurity, your inconsistency, her nervous system never rests, and a woman cannot fully admire a man. She must constantly manage. Security also means decisiveness. A man who cannot choose, who hesitates endlessly, who seeks constant reassurance, transfers leadership to her. And while she may temporarily accept that role, she does not deeply desire it. People trust leaders who appear certain. Certainty creates psychological safety. When you speak with clarity, act with intention, and move with direction, you communicate something without words. I know where I am going. And she feels safer walking beside you. Notice something important. Many men confuse softness with safety. They believe that by being endlessly agreeable, endlessly accommodating, endlessly available, they are creating comfort. But comfort is not the same as security. Comfort is temporary pleasure. Security is long-term confidence. A woman may enjoy tenderness, but she depends on strength. Strength does not mean aggression. It means grounded presence. It means your emotions do not control you. It means external pressure does not define you. If you collapse when challenged, if you lash out when criticized, if you withdraw when stressed, your love becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability creates silent anxiety. Anxiety slowly replaces admiration. And once admiration fades, love struggles to survive. Security is the invisible foundation beneath attraction. It is not glamorous, it is not poetic, it is not dramatic, but it is powerful. The man who masters himself becomes the man she trusts. And the man she trusts becomes the man she struggles to leave. Now we arrive at something far more powerful than affection. Respect. Most men chase love. They crave reassurance. They want to be chosen, adored, validated. They believe that if a woman feels enough warmth toward them, she will remain loyal. But warmth is not what sustains desire. Respect is. You can love someone and still look down on them. You can care deeply and still feel superior. You can enjoy someone's presence and still not fear losing them. But you cannot truly desire a man you do not respect. Respect is psychological gravity. It creates weight. It creates presence. It creates the subtle tension that keeps attraction alive. When a woman respects a man, she feels his standards. She senses his boundaries. She understands that his time, his attention, and his commitment are not handed out cheaply, and value is always tied to what is not easily obtained. Many men destroy respect in the early stages without realizing it. They over-explain themselves. They apologize for things that require no apology. They abandon their opinions at the first sign of disagreement. They tolerate small acts of disrespect because they fear conflict will cost them affection. But what they do not understand is this. Every time you trade your standards for approval, you lower your perceived value. Approval seeking is the language of insecurity, and insecurity weakens authority. A man who constantly adjusts himself to avoid discomfort communicates something silently, that he fears loss. And when a woman senses that you fear losing her more than she fears losing you, the dynamic shifts. The balance of power tilts. Desire thrives in balanced power, not submission. Respect does not mean dominance in the crude sense. It does not mean controlling behavior or arrogance. It means internal authority. It means that your principles do not bend with every emotional wave. It means that your identity exists independently of her mood. Consider this carefully. If she challenges you, do you collapse into defensiveness? Do you become reactive, emotional, desperate to win the argument? Or do you remain composed, steady, firm in your perspective without aggression? Calm firmness builds respect. Emotional volatility destroys it. When a man becomes overly accommodating, overly available, overly eager to please, he unintentionally removes tension from the relationship. He becomes predictable in the worst way. There is no edge, no polarity, no strength to lean against. And without polarity, desire fades into comfort. Comfort is pleasant, but comfort alone does not ignite passion. A woman wants to feel that the man she is with has chosen her, not that he needs her to survive. She wants to feel that he could walk away if his standards are violated. Not because he is cruel, but because he values himself. Self-respect teaches others how to treat you. If you laugh off disrespectful jokes at your expense, she notes it. If you tolerate inconsistency in her behavior while demanding consistency from yourself, she notices it. If you rearrange your entire life to accommodate her last-minute decisions, she registers it. Respect is built in moments like these. It is built when you calmly say no, when you enforce boundaries without anger, when you refuse to negotiate your core values for temporary harmony. Harmony without respect is fragile. It may look peaceful on the surface, but underneath it lacks tension, and tension is necessary for attraction. Many men confuse kindness with weakness. Kindness is powerful when it is a choice. Weakness is compliance, driven by fear. The difference is subtle, but women sense it immediately. If you are kind because you are secure, she admires it. If you are kind because you are afraid to upset her, she feels it. Respect also grows from competence. A man who is disciplined in his work, committed to his purpose, and serious about his growth, commands admiration naturally. He does not need to demand respect, he embodies it. And when admiration enters the relationship, desire deepens. If she sees you as equal or below her in ambition, drive, or emotional control, attraction weakens. But if she sees you as grounded, capable, and internally directed, something shifts within her. She feels drawn not just to your affection, but to your stature. Desire without respect burns quickly and fades. Desire with respect endures because it is rooted in admiration. And admiration is far more difficult to replace than affection. Now we speak of the element most men destroy with their own hands: mystery. In the beginning of attraction, everything is uncertain. She does not fully know you. She wonders what you are thinking. She questions how much you care. She imagines possibilities. Her mind fills in gaps, and in those gaps, desire grows. Uncertainty creates emotional movement. But what do most men do the moment they feel attachment? They reveal everything. They confess their fears. They explain their past in exhaustive detail. They declare devotion too early. They make themselves entirely available. They respond instantly. They remove every doubt, and in doing so they remove tension. Mystery is not deception. It is not manipulation. It is disciplined restraint. It is understanding that attraction thrives in space, not suffocation. When you become fully predictable, fully accessible, fully transparent in every emotion, you become safe in a way that is comforting but not stimulating. The human mind is fascinated by what it cannot completely grasp. If she knows exactly how you feel at every moment, if she knows you will always answer immediately, if she knows you have no life beyond her, her imagination goes silent. And when imagination goes silent, excitement fades. Consider power. Powerful figures throughout history were rarely overexposed. They spoke selectively. They revealed strategically. Their silence carried weight. People leaned in to interpret their pauses. Mystery amplifies presence. When you speak less, your words matter more. When you reveal gradually, your depth feels layered. When your life extends beyond the relationship, you appear expansive. A man with no mystery feels small. If your entire world revolves around her, if your schedule shifts instantly for her, if your hobbies disappear and your ambitions weaken, she senses contraction. You become centered on her approval, and nothing shrinks attraction faster than dependency disguised as devotion. Desire requires space to breathe. When you are constantly present, constantly texting, constantly explaining, constantly reassuring, you remove anticipation. There is no emotional rhythm, no rising and falling, no contrast between presence and absence. Even the sun rises and sets. Imagine if it never disappeared from the sky. Its beauty would become ordinary, its warmth expected, its power unnoticed. Presence gains value through absence. This does not mean playing games. It means maintaining your mission, your friendships, your growth, your inner world. It means that when you are with her, you are fully there, but when you are gone, you are genuinely engaged in your own life. A woman should feel that she is part of your world, not the center of it. Mystery also exists in emotional composure. If you react strongly to every small shift in her tone, if you interrogate every delay in response, if you demand constant clarity, you reveal insecurity, and insecurity is predictable. But when you remain calm in ambiguity, when you do not chase explanations, when you allow silence without panic, something happens. She begins to think about you more. Why is he so composed? Why is he not reacting? What is he thinking? Questions create engagement. Over-explanation kills it. Men often believe transparency means telling everything immediately, but depth revealed slowly feels profound. Depth revealed instantly feels ordinary. When you allow discovery over time, she experiences layers. She uncovers your values gradually. She learns your vision step by step. She senses there is more beneath the surface, and that sense of more sustains intrigue. Mystery is also emotional control. If she can predict exactly how you will respond in every situation, especially emotionally, you become easy to navigate. But when your reactions are measured, calm, and slightly reserved, you become harder to read. Hard to read does not mean cold, it means centered. A centered man does not overshare to gain sympathy. He does not dramatize to gain attention. He does not perform vulnerability for validation. He reveals what is necessary, when it is necessary. Restraint creates weight. Weight creates gravity, and gravity pulls. If you wish to sustain attraction, you must resist the urge to constantly prove your devotion. Let actions speak more than declarations. Let silence do some of the work. Let your absence occasionally remind her of your presence. When she feels she is still discovering you, she remains engaged. When she feels she has fully mapped you, she relaxes into comfort. Comfort is peaceful, but mystery keeps the pulse alive. Now we speak of something modern men are afraid to embody. Strength. Not cruelty. Not arrogance. Not domination. Strength. There is a dangerous misunderstanding in today's world. Many believe that to keep a woman, a man must become softer, more agreeable, more emotionally exposed at every moment. They believe constant tenderness secures affection. Tenderness has its place, but strength sustains attraction. A woman may appreciate softness, but she is drawn to stability. She may enjoy vulnerability, but she bonds to resilience. She may smile at kindness, but she leans into firmness. Why? Because strength signals survival. Throughout history, survival favored those who could withstand pressure. And though society has evolved, human instinct has not disappeared. At a subconscious level, strength still communicates protection, leadership, and capability. When difficulties arise, financial strain, family conflict, social pressure, does the man become overwhelmed? Does he spiral into self-doubt? Does he seek reassurance instead of offering it? Or does he stand grounded? This is where attraction quietly shifts. If she senses that in times of crisis she must become the emotional pillar, something changes in her perception. She may step up, she may even admire your vulnerability for a moment, but repeated weakness transfers weight onto her shoulders, and weight over time becomes exhaustion. Strength is not the absence of emotion, it is the mastery of it. It is the ability to feel deeply without being ruled by what you feel. If anger controls your words, that is not strength. If jealousy dictates your actions, that is not strength. If fear forces you to cling, that is not strength. Strength is composure. Composure under stress is magnetic. When a man remains calm while others panic, when he speaks clearly while others argue emotionally, when he makes decisions while others hesitate, he creates a sense of order. Order feels safe, and safety strengthens attraction. Many men believe that being endlessly accommodating is the path to harmony. They avoid confrontation at all costs. They suppress disagreement. They agree simply to maintain peace. But suppressed opinions build quiet resentment, and quiet resentment eventually leaks out as passive aggression or emotional distance. True strength means addressing conflict directly but calmly. It means saying what needs to be said without raising your voice. It means standing by your values even if disagreement follows. Conflict handled with control increases respect. Conflict avoided through submission decreases it. A woman does not want a tyrant, but she does not want a follower either. She wants a man who can lead himself first. A man who has direction, purpose, and standards independent of her approval. Purpose is strength. If your life lacks mission, if your ambition fades the moment romance begins, if your discipline weakens because you are consumed by emotion, she senses it. And once she senses it, attraction begins to erode. Strength is consistency in your growth. It is waking up and pursuing your goals, whether she praises you or not. It is maintaining your fitness, your finances, your friendships, your principles. It is not abandoning your identity in exchange for companionship. A man who loses himself to love eventually loses love itself, because love that replaces identity creates imbalance. Strength also means emotional containment. You do not need to broadcast every doubt, every insecurity, every fleeting fear. There is power in processing internally before expressing externally. When you choose your words carefully, when you respond instead of react, when you remain centered while she tests boundaries or emotions run high, you communicate something silently powerful. You are not easily shaken, and what is not easily shaken feels solid. Softness alone feels pleasant. Strength feels dependable, and dependability is far more attractive over time. Imagine two men. One constantly seeks reassurance. The other provides it. One collapses under criticism. The other listens, evaluates, and stands firm where necessary. One adapts himself endlessly to maintain approval. The other remains aligned with his values even at the risk of disagreement. Which man feels more substantial? Substance commands admiration. Admiration fuels desire. If you wish to sustain attraction, cultivate resilience, build physical strength, develop emotional discipline, pursue intellectual growth, sharpen your decision-making, control your impulses. Do not become hard, become grounded. Grounded men do not need to dominate. Their presence speaks before their words do. Now you understand. Men are taught to chase love as if it is the ultimate prize. They pour their hearts out. They sacrifice their identity. They give without structure, without discipline, without strategy. And then they wonder why passion fades, because love by itself is fragile. Love is an emotion, and emotions rise and fall like tides. What sustains connection is not the intensity of feeling, but the structure beneath it. Security calms her fears. Respect elevates her perception of you. Mystery sustains her curiosity. Strength anchors her trust. Remove these, and love becomes unstable. A woman may say she wants romance. She may speak of affection, vulnerability, passion. And yes, these things matter. But beneath her words lies something deeper. The need to feel safe, to admire, to remain intrigued, to trust your stability. If you provide only softness, you may be liked. If you provide only love, you may be appreciated. But if you embody security, command respect, maintain mystery, and stand in strength, you become irreplaceable. This is not manipulation, it is understanding human nature. The man who understands nature works with it. The man who ignores it is surprised by its consequences. So ask yourself honestly, have you been offering emotion without structure, devotion without standards, presence without purpose, or are you building the kind of foundation that does not collapse when feelings fluctuate? Love is powerful, but love needs pillars, and the man who becomes the pillar is the man who remains standing when others fall.